All right. Welcome. Happy Thursday, everyone. Another episode of our awesome energetic alignment and mindset series. Wow. Can't believe that this is now 15 weeks in. So 15 weeks of doing this, helping you guys, and she is 15 weeks pregnant. So this is my metric to know how far along the baby is. Anyway, if you haven't been with us before, if you're watching, if you're this new, you're listening, any of this, my name is Zach. I'm a real estate investor primarily, and this is Monique, my fiance and personal energy healer and intuition coach.
Yep.
So that's what she does as a living. And honestly, I didn't even understand what that was until a little over a year into dating her, unfortunately. That's my fault, not her fault. But just a different field that nobody really has an idea about until they get into a little bit more. And then they realize, wow, this is just something that I need in everything that I do. I can use it in everything that I do every day. And it's just a different technique of getting over some of those hurdles in life and figuring out and attracting those things that we want into our life. So that's a little bit of our background. I've been a real estate investor for 10 years, 11 years. You've been in what you're doing for
like 6 or 7.
6 or 7 years, which is a decent amount of time. We've done a lot of things, helped a lot of people, but the whole idea, the mantra around what we're doing is energy before action. Real simple. So if you're not clearing the energy in your head, if you're attracting things in your life, if you're taking action in your life through a clouded head, through a clouded mind and all of that, you're going to end up attracting clouded things towards you, or things that might come from your fears or your limiting beliefs. It can be from one of these that you end up attracting whatever you're attracting in life. And so your actions are going to end up dictating all of that through that clouded lens. And so we're here just to help you with that, to get over those things in life. So yeah, you can work with us one-on-one. I always love deals and private lending and real estate. But yeah, we both coach people, mentor people, do wonderful things, group classes, but we're really excited to do this for you guys every week. So everyone that shows up live, we love you for that. And please ask any questions you might have in the chat. Say hello. Yeah, please. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, so please enter anything in the chat or raise your hand if you have questions. We'll take questions at the end, but we'll look at your questions in the chat as well and try and answer those quickly as we're going into different topics. And that helps guide us to what you guys are looking for in life and how we can help you best. So, all right. Today's a fun one. We just finished up a 7-week series last time, and we're moving into a new series here, and it's all about energy hygiene in your life. Like, what the heck is energy hygiene? So we're going to talk about that, an intro to all of that, and to give you why that's so important and why you should be aware of it. Most of this series is really just becoming aware first, becoming more self-aware of yourself, but aware of yourself and aware of your surroundings, and aware of what you want, and just aware of what energetic alignment is. Everyone kind of has an idea of what the right mindset should be, like, or that they seek a better mindset in life. But a lot of people don't have a conversation about energetic alignment and all the energetics of life. And so that's the different angle that we really want to introduce to you guys: a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new awareness. And so this type of awareness in this series right now is all about energetic hygiene. We brush our teeth, maybe, hopefully once, maybe twice, maybe who knows how many times a day. We clean ourselves and we wash our bodies off. But what do you do to wash the energy from yourself? What do you do to keep your energy clean, right? As opposed to all murky, as opposed to nasty, real dirty. How do you even know whether you need an energetic cleansing or not? So it's just a different awareness that we're trying to bring with that. And it's really exciting, because once you learn some of the basics around it, you'll be able to identify first when you're having some icky feeling of energy And then you can know that if that is your energy or if it's someone else's energy or a situation's energy, and you're just carrying that energy on when you don't have to. That's the beautiful thing, is you don't have to. That's not your energy. You don't have to carry those things on. So that's why we want to at least make you aware, so we can open your eyes to see all these things. So then you can identify, is this mine? And do I want this in my life, or is this someone else's? Should I give this back to them so that I can then just have my own normal energy? Because I'm sure you guys always feel like, oh, I'm having a good day, I'm having a bad day, or this situation, man, this just ruined my day. Did it? Or are you letting it? That's kind of like some of the differences that we'll end up going through. But without some of these techniques of how to cleanse yourself from that, you might not even know how to get rid of it. And you might just have to do whatever you've been doing in the past to move on to the next day and to power through it all. And so we like to not power through things here. We like to move through life with ease and with happiness, and to be able to just attract things towards us and like separate the waters, right? As Moses is going through the sea, separate the waters, basically, make it easy. That's what we're trying to do, is just make things easier in life. And so with that said, I want to turn things over to the lovely Monique, who absolutely is amazing in this realm. And you should all get to know her a little bit more on however many ways you can, because I think she's so amazing. I proposed to the lady. I'm like, I need you in my life forever. Not just because of energy, but damn, that's a good benefit. So anyway, with that said, yeah. So tell us a little bit, what's energy, hygiene, and cleansing in your words?
Thanks, babe. So energetic hygiene, in order to discuss this, I'm going to review some things very quickly. And one thing that I just wanted to say that Zach touched on is, some people might be like, okay, what is this airy fairy like BS? And it's anything but that. This is something that all the most successful people have in common, is they pay attention to their energy field. They've learned something that the masses really don't learn, because we're not taught this in school. This isn't a common conversation that people have. So you really have to seek this information out. But when you do, and you start putting all the puzzle pieces together, you're like, why the hell was I never taught this before? It would have made life so much easier.
Just like we're not taught finances in school, we're not taught this type of thing. There's so much to learn. Oh, it's exciting.
Yeah. But the thing that most of the successful people have in common is they focus on their energy field, and they know how to take care of their energy field, and they know how to manipulate their energy field and the energy around them in order to sway the favors of life in a positive favor for themselves. And so hopefully, walking away from the next few weeks of this series, you all will have an idea of how to use your energy field, use the energy around you, and really start paying attention to the little subtle nuances that happen every single day that are cueing us into, is my energy field in alignment, or is it out of alignment? Is there something that needs to be cleared, or is there something that needs to be stimulated in order for me to feel better in my just everyday operations, in order for work to go more smoothly, in order for my relationships to run more easily, in order for money to come in more frequently and with more ease. And it's not like I'm pulling teeth. And all of that comes down to you and your energy field, because reality is a reflection of you. And everything in the universe is energetic, and we are energetic before we are physical, but we're only taught to focus on the physical, and the physical is still energy, but it's just the densest and the slowest vibrational frequency of our energy field. But it's still energy. But our energy field extends about 8 to 10 feet from our physical body, a healthy energy field, 8 to 10 feet out. Think of how many people throughout your life have been 8 to 10 feet from you or closer. Or think of how many situations you've gotten into where you're like up close and personal with somebody, or you're sweating. Like if you played sports in school, you're getting sweaty and you're bumping into people. Or if you go on dates and you're making out with people at the end of the date. And how many people have we dated where we're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Or if you just, when you were a kid, you're playing in the sandbox, you're running, you run, you fall, you get bloody. And just think, if you've never, ever showered, how icky you would feel 30, 40, 50, 60 years down the road from when you were a 5-year-old, from when you were a 10-year-old, from when you were a 15-year-old, 20-year-old. And if you're what,
does that make sense to you guys? I want to just like backtrack that just a little bit, because for some people that might be tuning in, they're like, what do you mean we've got this field that's around us and
Well, I'm not
our
talking
physical
about the
form is
energy field
our
yet.
dense field? Well, I know, I just want to go into that, but like real quickly, I mean, we're all atoms, we're all little bits, right? We've learned that in physics class and in chemistry class. We're those little bits that are holding us together, the periodic table with the little the protons, the neutrons, we got the electrons, they're in their own little field. That's what makes matter. And so all of those things together, and we know that those electrons are all moving around, all of that together makes us. And that's why we're very static. We're the densest of all the energy, because there's all that stuff that's moving around literally at the same time. And if we had, so one of my degrees is in engineering, and just understanding the physical realm is, one of the first things I was excited about. And just knowing that all of these things are in us and they're all creating different fields. There's electromagnetic fields all around. It's the electromagnetic spectrum. We just can't see the different spectrums of that. Just like if we had infrared goggles, we can see the heat that comes off of people. You know that heat radiates out from all of us. You just can't see it. Sometimes you see on a parking lot, it gets real hot and it makes that, like the air makes it changes the look of the air. That's starting to see it in the visible spectrum, but there's so many other frequencies that are out there that are literally just emanating all the time. That's the type of energy body from a very scientific aspect that's happening all around us. But you can feel the energy body. You can feel it. When I was running around the track last night and I'm just smiling at these different people, they're smiling back at me. That only happens when I'm in closer proximity to them, but we're affecting each other, and their energy is affecting me. It's making me more excited to move forward. My energy is affecting them. It's making them happier. There's this kid that was getting trained and I'm running with him, and we're trying to push each other towards the end. We're affecting each other in that way without saying a word. So there's lots of energy fields that happen around you, and just being aware of those and just knowing that they can get on you. They're all coming towards you. And so that's the type of energy fields that we're talking about in general. So just thinking about it in that sense, where we can't see that all because we don't have those goggles that can see into those different spectrums of the electromagnetic spectrum. We can't see that. Other animals can see better in different spectrums. We can't, but some people are more intuitive. They're more in tune with that. And so they can feel that. They can intuit those types of things a little bit more. So anyway, that's just talking from the scientific realm to go back into what she's saying. So yeah, imagine if you're 80 years of collecting all this other mucky stuff from other people's energy bodies. What's that going to do to yours? And what do you do with that at that point? And are you even aware? Because if we can't see it, are you even aware of those things?
Yeah, so I wasn't quite there yet, but Zach's just jumping the gun.
I get excited.
So imagine if, like, all the sandboxes that you've played in, all the people that you've come into contact with, all of the just other situations you found yourself in, like running into people when you're working out or when you're playing sports, all of the emotions that you felt and the emotions that you felt from other people. Like maybe you had a conversation with someone and you walked away from that conversation just feeling so gross or so icky or so down. And just all the clothes that you've worn and everything that, if you've never washed your clothes, and just imagine this building and compounding year after year after year. And then how many times you found yourself cutting yourself or scraping yourself or falling, and you are so you have like dried blood on you, or maybe you burned yourself, or maybe you got food on you and you have all this stuff on you because you've never taken a shower. Like, how gross would you feel? You've never taken a shower. I mean, we feel gross after we don't shower after a day. Some people 2 days, some people a little longer, but typically it's like after 48 hours, if you don't shower, you start to feel it. You're like, oh gosh, I just feel a little like slimy, a little grudgy. And so we're aware of this because we're taught to be aware of our physical body. We're taught to be aware of And we can see we are trained in our physical senses to be able to interact with the world around us. But like Zach was saying, there's much more than what we can physically see and sense and feel and taste and smell. There are frequencies all around us that are vibrating at a frequency that we just can't interact with using our physical senses. It doesn't mean they're not there. And so we're always interacting with those. And as we interact with those, we're not taught about our subtle energy field. We're not taught about the subtle senses that come with the energy field. Just like we have physical senses, we also have energetic senses. We experience these senses, but more times than not, we chalk them up as a coincidence, chance encounter, or just, I got lucky, I guess. Or we just like can feel something's off, but we don't know how to label these senses like eyesight, like hearing, like touch, like taste. And so when we are engaging with these frequencies in the world around us and with other people's energy fields, we're not taught to care for our energy field the way we are taught to care for our physical body. So what happens is now we're adults and we wake up really low energy. First thing we reach for is that cup of coffee or that energy drink or that caffeinated tea to get our day going. And then we start moaning and groaning about, oh, I'm just so tired, or I'm just like, I don't know, like how I'm going to get through this day, or don't talk to me before I've had my coffee or anything like that. And then we go to work and we have conversations with people and we're rolling our eyes so far into our head that so no shock. It's like a shock that they're still connected. And we're just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to get off of work. Or when we're engaging with people, we're having conversations with people. Maybe you're networking with people, with private money lenders or with other real estate investors, or just with other people that you meet out. Maybe you're dating, whatever it is. Some people you really vibe with, some people you don't, but you're like, oh, I can't go anywhere because we have an hour meeting or we just ordered our food. And you're having to sit through all of these conversations, and you're noticing more and more that you're going to bed more tired, that you're waking up with less energy, that your house is slowly becoming a little more messier. You're not really paying attention to keeping the dishes cleaned. You're not really paying attention with the upkeep of laundry. You're not really paying attention with the little corners and stuff in your office or in your living room, and stuff is just piling up and it's becoming a cluttered mess. You're not really paying attention to your relationships, and you have a ton of text messages that are just on the back burner that you're like, oh, I'll get to them eventually, but will you? And with work, maybe you're finding stressful work meetings. Maybe work is or the financial component of work, like you're not bringing in money like you want to be bringing in money. So it's causing you stress. It's causing you overwhelm. It's just causing you this feeling of anxiety. And with your emotions, you wake up and you just have this like heaviness. Your thoughts tend to go to like, okay, worst case scenario, what's going to happen? And then your health might even suffer. So are you waking up with chronic aches and pains? Do you have chronic illness? We now know that all of this is related to the energy field. Yeah. So our physical reality shows us and gives us glimpses into the health of our energy field. And our physical reality includes the health of our body. Yeah. But so many people don't put this connection together. And if you are having a relationship with a higher power, you know your energy field is a little sludgy or mucky or icky when you're questioning that higher power, when you're going to it through desperation, feeling separate than it. You're not just turning over your issues and moving on with your life, but you're sitting there and you're dwelling in the energy of your issues. You're begging for some type of guidance. We have to understand that we're always supported in the metaphysical, but if we're focusing on the issue that needs support constantly, day in and day out, that's where our energy is flowing, and that's contributing to more of that muckiness. Is this making sense? Let me know in the chat box. And so when we're asking ourselves, well, what's the health of my energy field like? Like, how do I know I need to upkeep my energetic hygiene? Then literally look around your physical reality. How does your body feel from day to day? Are you holding on to excess weight? Do you have a hard time gaining weight, or are you at a nice stable weight? What's your relationship like with food? What's your relationship like with other people? What's your relationship like with money? What's your relationship like with the environment of your home? Is it a clean, neat space, or is it a cluttered mess with your office? And what type of thoughts do you think each day? What's the overall feeling that you have throughout the day? Even if you have moments of happiness, is your overall feeling doom or gloom or worry or anxiety? This is a telltale sign that, hey, I need to do something with my energetic hygiene. I need to clean this up. I need to get back to me. A lot of people that I see with a very scattered energy field, or that come to me and they're like, oh, I feel so stuck. I don't know how to move forward. I don't know, like, I don't have clarity over next steps. I feel very confused or very anxious about what to do next. A couple of things is they lack self-trust, which means that your energy field, you're just not connected to your energy field. Your energy field and your physical body are not connected. If you're lacking self-trust, you're not grounded in your body. And their energy field, I see it as like a jar with holes in it. There's just so much leaks that are happening. They can't contain their own energy. So they don't know who they are from a stranger on the sidewalk, because their energy field is so open, and we've never learned energetic hygiene, which a part of that is boundary setting and setting energetic boundaries. And so these people, they feel very confused or very stuck or just very like airy, like in their head, ungrounded, very flighty, forgetful even. And there are some very simple things that you can begin to do today that do not take a lot of time, do not take a lot of effort. And you guys will walk away with some of these today.
Sweet. That's what I like. Something actionable that people can take little steps forward. So not even just becoming aware of things, but also do some things in practice, because that's why we're here, not just to educate you, but to take you a little bit further, just to explore the world of all this.
Yeah.
So that's really great, honey. Wow. Yeah. So those are some of the ways that we can identify if we're filthy, if we've got filth on us, dirt
essentially, if
accumulating.
you've never showered your energy field.
Or like, to figure out how long it's been since I've showered, how leaky is my energy field, how icky am I feeling in the morning, how cluttered is the life around me. All of those things, cluttered in my thoughts, ungrounded in my thoughts, just without great purpose, direction, clarity, could be one of the things that's holding you back towards that. Awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into it then.
So the thing to remember is that when things manifest physically, they could be already manifested in the energy field for an hour, for days, for weeks, or for years. So it's important to understand that these practices, I always recommend people do them every single day at first for at least 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, if you feel absolutely nothing different, then it's time to go a little bit deeper. Then we would probably do some nervous system work, which is also akin to your energy field. So, but what you can do is these exercises I'm about to tell you, what you want to do is you just want to set like literally these exercises. None of these exercises take more than 2 minutes to do.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, they're very quick, very simple, very easy.
I have time for that.
This is often the hardship of energy work, is that it's so simple. People just brush it off and they're like, that's not going to work. But it's often the most simplest things, the most foundational components that we forget about, that we overlook, that when we start building that foundation, that makes all the difference, right? So stop looking for the elaborate fix or the quick fix, and just start working with these simple foundational components of your energy field, and notice how you feel after a week or two. Okay.
And just to put it into context for people, perhaps, you're an energy healer. So you work with a lot of other people's energy fields, and you're in it, like you are trudging in their mess to try and help them out. So this is something that you use after all of your client meetings and things, right? To kind of like make sure that you get their energy off of you, so that you're not taking that on to your next client, or bringing that to us in our relationship, or to anyone else that you meet, right?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough that when I learned, I went through my own healing process before I really fell in love with energy healing, because it helped me so much. Like, if you don't know anything about me, just really, really quickly, in 2016, I was at like the lowest low of my adult life. And it was just, I was 25 at the time. I was working a job that 2 years prior, they created for me. Like this company, the headquarters created this position for me. It was the first position in the company. It had to do with health and wellness. I was ecstatic. I was so happy. Fast forward 2 years, I'm miserable. I had no idea why I was so miserable, but I was gaining weight. I gained about 30 pounds in a little over a year. It was ridiculous. And like, I went from, maybe it was like a year and a half, but I gained about 15 to 20 pounds within a year. And then I just was slowly gaining, and I could not figure out why. I was eating healthy. I was exercising 5 days a week, sometimes twice a day, sometimes before work and after work, because my work had a gym. And I was sleeping. It was a shift work. So the factory ran 24 hours. The headquarters was right next door. So I would go in during the day, go to the headquarters. And then sometimes I'd go in and at night to talk to the factory workers. And so, because like everybody needs health and wellness, right? But I didn't realize, like, why is this not working for me? Like, why am I gaining weight? Why am I so unhappy? Why am I so depressed? And it got to the point that I was just calling off work because I didn't want to wake up anymore. And it was to this point where I'm like, I had this realization where I was at the Starbucks in the headquarters lobby, and there was this guy that walked down. He's probably very similar to my age, and he just had the darkest circles under his eyes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he just looked totally depleted and defeated in life. I'm like, I cannot live the rest of my life this way. I'm only 25. Like, no fucking way can I live the rest of my life this way. So I was just getting into podcasts at that time. And so I'm listening to these podcasts, and I found some random podcasts about chakras. And I didn't know what was why I was drawn to it. I didn't even know what it was at the time, but I just wanted to start listening to it. I listened to a random episode, heard about a retreat in Costa Rica. In the next month, I spent $5,000, the most I'd ever spent on myself. And I'm like, I just have to do this. I have to change something, because I was not going to keep doing the same thing and hoping for a different result. I couldn't keep eating healthy food. I was following every diet there was, and it wasn't working. I was exercising and it wasn't working. I was talking to like the therapist at my company for help, and it wasn't working. Conventional therapy did not work for me. And it's because, like, we're all so unique, and we all have our own energetic imprint, and we have to learn what works for us. Yeah. And so when I went to Costa Rica, I learned all of this, and I learned that we have this energy field, and that we're all energetic beings, that we can all connect with other people's energy. And it was the first time that I had actually intentionally felt someone else's energy in my own body. And I realized I'm doing this all the time. The reason I'm so depressed is because my work environment was so freaking toxic. It was so toxic that I was just taking all of that on because I didn't have an energetic hygiene routine. And I thought it was me, but it wasn't me. It was my environment that I was just allowing to affect me because I didn't know how to, quote unquote, protect myself. And so many of us walk through life this same way. And we're just like, why do I feel like shit all of the time? It might not even be you. It might just be you absorbing the energy of your environment, and you're just totally unaware of it. Wow. But you're just taking it on as this is who I am because you've been living that reality for so long. But it might not be you, but you don't know who you are because you've never been taught. Right. And so that's where I came. That was like my come to Jesus moment, is I realized all of this was happening. And so I totally changed everything that I was doing. I like meditated 30 pounds off of me within a couple months. So from 1 year to the next, I had lost all the weight that I had gained. I didn't change my diet. I worked out less actually. And all I did was just focus on my energy field, and my life completely transformed. Quit my job, started doing what I'm doing now. And through that process, I learned that it's so important to take care of your energy field. It's so important to disconnect from energy that is all around you all the time. But other people and other practitioners in my field, not everybody learns this. And even when I was beginning to do energy healing sessions, I would find myself reaching for like sweet potatoes or chocolate or like heavier foods to help ground my energy. So if you are someone that craves heavier foods, like you crave really heavy carbs, or you crave like dense desserts, or you crave like just warm, like potatoy meals more frequently than not, or even if you're not hungry and that's what you're reaching for, like cakes or just like dense types of carbs, you're probably very ungrounded, and that's your body's attempt to get you to pay attention to it and telling you, hey, you're ungrounded, you need to pay attention to your energy, but you're just associating that with food. And so when you eat, it gives you the illusion that you're grounding back into your own energy field. But then once you start to digest that food, it goes away and then you feel empty again. And so many people go through this cycle and they don't even realize that it has to do with their energy field, nothing to do with the food that they're eating.
That's so interesting. That's something I never would have
Yeah.
expected, thought of, that there's specific energies or,
Yep.
or foods that would make me
Yep.
more grounded in my energy. So as an architect, we understand sick building syndrome, where there could be things with a closed HVAC system in a big building that could just make people not good. It's literally called sick building syndrome. And then fluorescent lights, how those affect us. We're taught that in that type of field, and we're taught different things in the health field of how to eat better, like you said, how to work out better, to do all of that. But it's funny, all of those things, and that wasn't the root of the cause for you. It was just something completely different. We understand toxic relationships. We understand toxic environments.
Toxic relationships, oftentimes it's because your energy field is so messed up. You're seeking connection through someone else because you're not connecting with yourself. And we seek connection through what feels familiar, which for a lot of us is a toxic childhood. In one way or another, we experience some type of trauma. So we want to play that cycle out with our potential partners. But we don't realize the reason that we jump from relationship to relationship to relationship is because we're not connecting with ourselves. We're disconnected from our own energy. So we're seeking that out through somebody else.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's why energy work is so fascinating, because we play this out every single day.
All the time.
But people don't make the connections.
Yeah. No, like I said, dating you for over a year, I had no clue even what you did, right? So it's just, and I'm a person that sought a lot of improvement in my mindset, in my body, in my health, in my business. I hadn't even come across this as an industry. And gosh, yeah, that's crazy. And it's something that permeates us all the time, every day, and everything that we do. Our energy field is always with us.
Yeah. And like Zach was saying also at the beginning, when he was like getting excited and jumped the gun that I was on, he was mentioning how we're always like exchanging energy with other people, or like we're always in the field of other people. I wanted to say something else, but it just left my mind. It'll come back. But essentially that our energy field, like you never go anywhere without it. Right. And we're taught about mindset. We're taught about like how to change our belief systems, but we don't realize that that's all rooted in our energy field. You are energetic before you are physical. Okay. And so when it comes to working with your energy field, then we really want to understand that there are really simple practices that we're already doing every day, but if we just add intention to them, then that adds that energy focal point to it. Does that make sense? So whatever we're focusing on is growing. So if we add intention to the exercises we're already doing, then we can work with our energy field. It's as simple as that. And because it's so simple, people overlook it so much. Like I've said a couple of times.
Or a lot of times might try it for a little bit and then stop doing that. You guys ever start a habit like, oh, this is good, I don't have to do this anymore, like I feel better now, and then you don't feel good. Like, why is that?
But that is something with energy work, is that at first you really want to make this a daily practice. Like I'm saying, like if you're watching this or you're watching the replay, then definitely want to make this a daily practice at first. After about 2 weeks, that's the typical cutoff point that I give my clients. After about 2 weeks, then we can start to do this like maybe a couple times a week or on an as needed basis. And then after about a month or two, then it's just like, okay, maybe I should refresh this. Right. So it can become something that's like less of a chore, but it's something that you always want to keep in your back pocket. You always want to check on this. Like you're always going to shower. You're always going to brush your teeth. So why not just take care of your energy field as well?
So is this something we should do at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day?
Yeah. So I'm going to give you guys some exercises and I'll tell you the best time to do them. So the first thing that you want to do, if you notice, if you're looking around your environment or you're just feeling your body, you're feeling a little icky and gross, or your environment's just like a little bit cluttered and you're just like, okay, something needs to change here. Or you're in relationships with people, work relationships, professional relationships, personal, romantic, familial, and you're just having some struggles. And you're like, all right, I know my reality is a reflection of me. So I have to address me first. Like I'm taking radical responsibility. I have to address me first. So what you want to do then is first clear what isn't yours. But in order to clear what isn't yours, you have to first know what is yours, like know how you feel. And so what you want to do is just some simple awareness. Just notice how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Notice how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Right now, this is your baseline. So you're
What
probably,
should I notice about that?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
So you're probably already like carrying around other people, places, situations, the energy of them with you. But right now we want to figure out what your baseline is. So just if you can recall how you felt when you woke up in the morning. So just noticing how your body felt. Were there any aches and pains? Where did you feel a little more open? How did the sensation in your chest feel? So what was that overall emotion? Were you excited to wake up? Were you like, oh shit, another day? Or were you just like, okay, another day, like, let's just get this day started. So we just want to know what your baseline is. Okay. From there, notice how you feel when you engage with other people. Notice how you feel when you have a conversation with someone. Notice how you feel when you're in traffic. And we are always exchanging energy with people in traffic. Okay. You can feel this. I can feel if the person next to me, in front of me, or behind me is angry or very aggravated. I can feel their energy and I have to clear it because I'm just like, oh no, that's not mine to have. So notice like how you feel when you're in conversation with people. Notice how you feel when you walk into places. Notice how you feel when you're in a situation with people. And I just want you to pay attention to this. Notice if like you felt fine in your car, but then when you walk inside, all of a sudden you're irritated.
Oh yeah, that's
Probably
interesting.
not yours.
I'm thinking about that. I think I've felt that in the past. Yep.
That's probably not you. Okay. Or if you feel fine, but then your friend's talking, all of a sudden you feel like you want to cry. Again, probably not you. Or if you left somewhere, like you felt really, really good, but then you left somewhere and you were just completely depleted. Again, that energy is probably not yours. So we want to pay attention to how we feel before we interact with anybody else throughout the day. All right. So that's just like an awareness exercise. Okay. So that's just the awareness.
Just bringing awareness to your morning, to your drive, to your interactions with people, to your environments.
Yes.
Just bringing awareness, just thinking, how do I feel? And how do I feel when it's changed from the previous state?
Yes. Because also something to remember is you're not just exchanging energy with other people, places, and situations, but you're also giving off energy.
Yeah.
So if you're in a low vibrational space and you're then interacting with other people, you're sharing that energy with them.
Yeah.
So we'll address that.
Yeah.
But the first thing that you want to do is you have to start spending alone time with yourself. So make it as little as 30 seconds to 5 minutes. Start small, but you just have to start spending alone time with yourself to notice how you feel on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So that's the first thing, a simple exercise to bring awareness. All right. Once we have this awareness, really simple clearing exercises. So we are all carrying energy from other people, places, and situations. So you can actually do this with me. And then just practice any of these exercises. I'm going to give you guys 1, 2, 3, 4 exercises. So you can do any of these 4 exercises whenever. You don't have to do all of them. You can do all of them if you want to, but just one is enough. So my favorite one, and the one that I always use, is called Return to Sender. And this is simply working with the most simple way to work with energy, and that is through intention. Intention drives energy. Energy responds to intention. Okay. So intention, we can work with intention by simply setting the intention to return any and all energy that's not ours back to where it came from, returning to sender. So what that would look like is I have a little saying that I say. You can steal this or you can create your own, but it can be something as simple as any energy that I've picked up from other people, places, or situations that is not mine, that I've picked up throughout the day, I now send back to wherever it came from. And then you want to call yours back. And I call mine back. And then I just like to end with love. I'll repeat that again. So you can say this with me. So if you are in a place where you can say this out loud, I highly recommend. Any and all energy.
Any and all energy.
That I have picked up from other people, places, or situations.
That I have picked up from other people, places, or situations.
Today. or for the last week, the last 2 weeks, you can give it a time frame. So you can say like today, the last week, last 2 weeks, whatever. Any knowledge that people, I now send back
And now send back
to wherever it came from.
to wherever it came
You
from.
don't have to know where it came from, just to wherever it came from. And I call my energy back
And I call my energy back
with love.
with love.
And then just go ahead and I just like to take a couple cleansing breaths after that. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. And sometimes I'll even take my hands and I'll bring them up to my forehead and just go, and I'll just brush them down my body and move it out. So it's almost like the energy is just sliding off my field.
Like bringing it right into my heart, my lungs,
Bring it into your heart
in
as
there,
well.
maybe up and then out.
Yeah.
That was the exercise that you
That
had
you-
me do yesterday.
Yeah.
So I asked her because I felt myself, I was in an icky situation yesterday. I don't know if you want me to go into
Yeah.
that. So I was in a situation where I was called in. If you guys are real estate investors, you'll be landlords. And so I was called in to a divorce from two of my tenants.
Yeah.
They were divorcing over this house. It's been going on for over a year and a half. I was summoned. They had a process server come and serve me on the day of our gender reveal. He was so excited. He's like, "Oh, you got this cute axe range there. What are you doing in the back?" And I'm like, "I know who this guy is." Like, I had a little bird told me that he was going to be coming. But anyway, so I had to show up to the courtroom and I had to talk with, I mean, you can imagine that everyone sitting around was not very happy. It's like a divorce and civil dispute, stuff like that. Everyone is just sitting and feeling icky and waiting out the day because no one wanted that day to exist for the most part. So had to talk with these attorneys about things. They're prying for information. Of course, I felt like I did nothing wrong in all of this, but whenever you go to the principal's office, which court feels like the principal's office, I just end up associating some like icky feelings. And that lasted, it was all right. I was brushing things off most of the day, because, it's all right. Let's make happiness around us. They said I got there at 9 a.m. The whole thing started. So woke up early, drove there, parked, all of that, got there and met with this attorney. They said I would be out by 9:30. They're going to pull me in quick because we just want to do this real quick. Then you can leave. We understand. We appreciate your time. And I had appointments at noon that day starting. So nope, through all of these different things, that didn't happen. This didn't happen. They kept saying they'd pull me in. This didn't happen. Break, recess, judge is doing this. Judge got flowers. Judge is angry. Judge is yelling at everyone. I'm just like, holy smokes, all this stuff is going on. They're not calling me in. And they're saying that court closes at 4 o'clock and it's 3 at this point. And I'm just like, now I'm getting annoyed. My whole day, I had to cancel things around. It's like, all right, I'm tired. I'm uncomfortable here. I'm just going to take a quick nap. Maybe I'll just sleep till 4. Maybe if they do call me back for the next day, I'll be real mad, but whatever, like that's more on them. And it's like, what is this whole situation? They do call me in at 3:45. Oh my gosh. And then I go in there and this attorney who was kind of, nice and cordial to me was very jerky in the courtroom, very forward. Like if you've ever been summoned and been asked and had to be on the stand, very jerky about lots of stuff. And I didn't do anything wrong at the end of the day. But as a real estate investor, I always protect myself from all the different situations. So our worst case scenario is really one of the best case scenarios. It's kind of, we make sure our worst case scenarios are great scenarios for us, no matter what happens. So I was fine. My investors were fine. The two tenants, on the other hand, they had issues that they had to work through. But it's just after that whole thing, I just felt like I was attacked. I was feeling all of their energy from the day. I got home and on the drive home, I just knew, I'm just like, I need to ask Monique to help me cleanse my energy.
And he wouldn't stop talking about it.
Because it's just like, that's all in my mind. It's completely, it's consuming me, and I'm like shaking, little nervous at things, even though I didn't do anything wrong. But when someone is pointing fingers at you and asking questions in a real mean tone, and it's everyone is unhappy, judge is unhappy, attorneys are unhappy, the two tenants are unhappy, everyone in the waiting room is unhappy. There's nobody that's really happy there other than me. I was trying to be the happiest I could be, but I was sucked down. Finally, when they said I could go, I'm like, oh, thank you, everybody. Good luck. But I'm leaving. I'm just like, I feel tired. I'm thinking on the drive home, maybe I should go take a nap. I don't know that I can get anything done. I was going to work out. And I'm like, I don't know that I even feel like working out. And that's when I started to notice, whoa. I was like, whoa, I have to clear my energy right now. How do I do that? I don't know, but I know who. My word of the year is who, not how. So I know who to go to. This girl right here. I'm like, come on, can you help me out? Can you do something? Because I know you're amazing at this. She says, absolutely. And she gave me that saying, that little exercise to say, and just to clear that and setting that intention to start out. And man, it's just the start of everything, just to be able to clear that out of you. And it's like, yeah, all of those emotions and those feelings, they're not mine. I knew they're not mine. And I was doing a good job of holding up and protecting my wall until 3 o'clock or so, really, until I got pulled into that whole place.
Okay, babe.
But yeah, like it was so nice to be clear of that at the end of the day, because I didn't want to bring that into today. I didn't want to bring that into my workout. I ended up working out yesterday because she was able to help me clear some of that. So anyway, that's just my literal story of what happened yesterday in my life with this.
Yeah.
And it
So
helped
we use,
so much.
like, I use this all the time. My sister uses this all the time. He uses it when he comes to me. All my clients use this. And if you're follow me or you're friends with me on social media, I share some of these because they're so simple, but they're so effective. And it is like, the more that we use them, the more we feel them being used, and the more we can feel like the energy coming off of us. At first, I will say, at first, you may not experience a huge shift. This is because some of us have so much energy that's not ours, just swirling in our field, or we have so much repressed emotional energy of our own
That makes sense.
that we won't feel a huge shift. It doesn't mean it's not happening. Okay. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's still happening. The more sensitive you become to energy, the more you'll be able to feel it. But not all of us will go down the path of self-healing or wanting to clear out old stuff. And that's fine. But if you do, then know that like you'll be able to start sensing this stuff more. But just know that it's working regardless. Okay. So you can do the return to sender. And then the second thing that you can do is a really simple one. I always think of Jay-Z's song 99 Problems, because it's literally like you're brushing off your shoulder, like dirt on my shoulder, whatever he says, like just like brush it off. And so this is called an energy sweep. And what I like to do is you literally just take your hand, start at your shoulder, and you just move down and you're like sweeping off your shoulder. So our shoulders are, and you do it 3 times on each side. And after that, I just like to shake it off. Because when we see animals shake in nature, sometimes we shake after like we cry, we get like a quick shake or something. That's our nervous system resetting. So we want to shake it off. We want to clear off that energy. So I like to sweep 3 times down each arm and then shake it off. And what the energy sweep does is we hold a lot of energy right here in our shoulders, through our neck area, and just in our like our upper arms and upper back. How many people experience neck, back, shoulder irritation and or pain? That area is associated with responsibility that you're carrying that's not yours. Okay. So we carry a lot of other people's energy in this area right here. So when we can sweep it off, literally, we're sweeping off that energy. And again, we just want to hold the intention that we are sweeping off anything that's not ours. All right. So I like to do this after an icky conversation, after a frustrating conversation, after just like an interaction with someone where I'm like, oh, they just felt gross, you know? And I like to do the energy sweep off of that because I actually like to like physically sweep it off. And yep, after a stressful day, neck or head will hurt. Yep. So we're probably just taking on some energy that's not ours. We're getting
Feel it all up in there. Oh, yeah.
Yep. And so the next exercise that you can do, this is so simple because we're already doing it, you guys. It's just playing with some intention as well. It's a cleansing shower. So when you're in the shower, I actually want you to imagine, just pick a color of anything that of an energy that represents anything that's not yours. All right, pick a color. I like to play with like dark greens or browns, dark oranges, sludgy, like mucky colors. So I'll just see that moving down my body. Like I'll close my eyes. We're going to play with some imagination. Remember, the body does not know if it's something that's being imagined or something that's actually happening. With the energy field is connected to the imagination, which is connected to the subconscious mind. All of this is our energy field. Okay. So when you're in the shower and you're feeling the water just run over your head, close your eyes and literally imagine just setting that intention that anything that's not yours is just running off of your body. So we want to like pull that out of our body. And then you can just imagine it going down the drain.
Mhm.
And then once you're done, then you can imagine just like bringing in a color that you want to represent you. So I like to pick like maybe pink if I want to bring in some more love.
Green.
Yeah. Green. I like to confidence, or just like a confident type of love. Golden light is just a beautiful, like nurturing light. And I'll just
How about
imagine
rainbow
that.
color?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And just imagine that washing over you afterwards. Okay.
Cool.
Super simple, super easy.
Cool.
And then the fourth one is using a tool that some of us have heard of, sage. And this is called smudging. And what we do is we just light the sage and then you just kind of move it around your body, move it around your space. I like to do this at our house. I'll sage if we've had a lot of people over, I'll sage, or if like one of us is having a bad day or we've gotten into an argument, go through and sage a space. If I do an anger release in my office, or I have like a lot of days with clients, I'll go through and sage the space. And what this does is it clears out any energy that's not yours, and or any lower vibrating energy in general. When you do this, you want to open up a window to let that negative energy that's not yours to give it a space to exit. Sage releases negative ions in the air. So it actually gives you a boost as well, an emotional boost. So it's a really, really great tool if you want to work with it. If not, you have 3 other exercises that you can do.
How about that?
So once you've cleared your field, now you want to protect your field, right? So we don't want to have to always clear our field because we're not protecting our field before we go into a conversation or something that happens with other people. So what you can do are some really, really, really simple exercises. Again, just because they're simple does not mean they're effective. Oftentimes the most simple exercises are the most effective. So this one is called a zip up. It's something that I've learned from multiple teachers and I really like it. And it's literally, you just bend down at your feet and you imagine zipping up your energy field, and you'll go to the back of the nape of your neck. Okay. So you're literally just imagining zipping up your energy field. And then what that does is I like to zip up a word, like zip up love, zip up confidence. And what you do is you're setting the intention that your energy field now is, one, contained. So you're not just this scattered mess, that jar with all of those holes in it. So now your energy is literally contained. You've set the intention that you're containing your field. And we're bringing in an affirmation of just like love or confidence or whatever you want to embody more of throughout the day. Because remember, if you're engaging with other people, you're also exchanging energy. So if you set the intention to zip up love in your field, you're going to give off more love throughout the day. Okay.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Okay.
Or
So
confidence as you're moving into whatever you're trying to do. Sure.
yeah.
I'll take another dose of that.
And then my favorite exercise that I always work with, I always tell my clients to do this, is to protect your energy field, is just imagine golden light. So this is in that morning when you're spending the 30 seconds to 5 minutes just with yourself in the morning, that I hope all of you start doing, is just close your eyes and imagine a ball of golden light at the top of your head, right above the top of your head. Just imagine, I like to imagine it kind of like start dripping down, honey. You can imagine it just shining a light down on you, whatever feels most resonant. There is no wrong way to do this. And just imagine that golden light. And you can do it now if you want to, but just imagine that
close our
golden light.
eyes?
If you want to.
Helps. Maybe
Yeah.
it might help me.
Yeah. If it helps you, close your eyes.
Okay.
And essentially you're just imagining this ball right above the top of your head, and just imagine it dripping down, oozing down, or just shining down this light, this golden white light above you, and feeling it, seeing it, sensing it, knowing that it's moving down your face and the back of your head, moving down your neck, feeling it or seeing it, sensing it, knowing that it's moving down each of your shoulders and down your arms into your hands. Some people might like to sit with their palms up to imagine the light is just pulling in their hands. And just imagine it moving down your upper back and your chest, all around your torso. Down around your hips and your pelvis. Down each of your legs. And just imagine this golden light covering every inch of you as it moves down past your knees. Down to your feet. And into the earth beneath you. And just imagine that there is now this like golden light, like an egg shaped field around you. Just illuminating this light. And essentially, this is a force field that prevents, golden light is very high vibrating. So this is a force field that prevents any lower vibrating frequencies from penetrating your field or you giving off any lower vibrating frequencies to others.
Goes both ways.
Yeah.
Complete force field.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just open your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love doing this. I love doing this before I travel. I love doing this before I give a speech. I love doing this before I walk into a place where I know I might not know a lot of people, maybe a networking event, or even an online space, you guys. Like doing this before you go into an online meeting, doing this before you go into a Facebook group. And what it does is it also helps raise your vibrational frequency. And we know that if our vibrational frequency is getting higher, then the quality of our life is getting better, because things like gratitude, abundance, love, they are at a higher vibrational frequency than things like shame, guilt, struggle, fear, right? And then the final thing that you can do that both protects your field and cleanses your field is ground. And that's just getting outside barefoot, getting outside, skin to earth contact, whether you're in a lake or an ocean or in the sand or in your backyard, wherever it is, just get outside, skin to earth contact. I say minimum 5 minutes when you do it. If you can get in sunlight as well for that 5 minutes, wonderful. That's going to help charge your energy up. Use the natural world, because we are one with the natural world. We're just disconnected from it. Use the natural world to reset your energy systems. All right. And you will feel better. So what you can do as well is remember that, yeah, you can do this alone and you can do this every single day. And you can do this like, say like, well, I don't have any support through this, but also know that there's so much support in the metaphysical, like your higher power, your God, universe, higher self, your intuition, which is connected to those things, to source energy, always supporting you. So if there's ever something that like you're coming up with a wall and like you just can't get past this wall, ask for support, but literally turn it over to your higher power. Stop dwelling on it, because it's causing an energy leak in your field. We'll talk about energy leaks on a later call, but it's causing an energy leak in your field, and that depletes your energy. Okay. We have to stop dwelling on it. We have to ask for support, and then we have to walk away from it and then start building our momentum in a different direction, our energetic momentum, trusting that the answer will come through, that the results will come through, that the solution will come through. Remember, I'm always available for miracles and solutions, right?
Wonderful
And then
affirmation.
trusting that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Qigong? Yeah, I've heard of Qigong. I've never done it, but
I don't know.
I've heard of it.
Qigong.
Qigong.
Quick. QIQONG.
Qigong. I'm
Qigong.
saying it.
I know. I'm just for the people that can't see the chat later in the replay.
Yeah, if that feels good to do as your morning routine, I would highly recommend trying it out. Definitely.
What is it?
Qigong. Not super familiar with it. Peggy, you want to explain what it is to Zach?
I'm just always curious. There's lots of Q's in that word. But so this is really fun, guys. So it's like Tai Chi, she says.
Yep. Okay. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. It's Tai Chi. So you're working with the energy around you. You're like slowly moving the energy, manipulating the energy, like moving energy out from you, bringing it back to you.
Sure.
Energy is ki or chi. So CHIQI is also known as life force energy. That's what we call it life force energy, but other cultures say ki or chi. And it's working with your life force energy to energize you, to release what isn't yours, to connect more to the energy around you.
That sounds great too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could use some of that, could use some yoga, could use all of these things that we talked about. So yeah.
So I just really we wanted to bring this into this series because it's so important and it's just so overlooked. But energy is like working with our energy is how we create change and how things shift fast. Okay. And so we can work with matter all day long and we can stress about changing the physical reality all day long. But until we change our energy, it's never going to stay. Like it might change for a brief moment, but something's always going to happen to bring you back to where your energetic vibration is in alignment with. All right. So that's why we want to work with the energy field first and take the aligned action and do the things and show up and play our part. But we're working with our energy field first. We're shifting our energy first, and we're taking action from that space. So these exercises that we talked with you guys today about, they're very, very simple things that you can start doing so you can start getting a sense of self, start building your confidence, start cleaning up your environmental space, your physical space around you, start feeling more peaceful, start making decisions, not from a place of stress, but from a place of peace and trusting. And you can start then attracting positive things into your life because you're taking care of your energy field. You're no longer a vibrational match for those lower vibrating frequencies. Okay.
Yeah. I love that. So we gave you 1, 2, 3, guys, real easy.
Yeah.
Right? 1, 2, 3. 1, be aware of your energy of field. Be aware of how you're feeling going into different situations when you wake up, moving throughout the day, going from your car to your work, something like that. That's number 1. Be aware. Number 2, clear your field. She gave you 4 different ways of doing that. The return to sender affirmation and thing that you can say, the energy sweep down the body like that, the cleansing shower with the colors, the smudging and the opening of the windows to let all that go and the positive ions that you get towards you, the grounding that you can do. And then number 3, protect your field. So after you've cleansed it, you want to put on that little envelope and all of that, and you want to protect it. And so she talked about the zipping up, the affirmation that you put this one shield on, and zip up a couple. If you want a couple on you, love and kindness and awesomeness and confidence and whatever. The other one is that golden light exercise where you either have the goo that's coming down on you or the light. For me, it was nice. I could visualize and be on a beach and I know what that feels like. I don't know what golden goo feels like as much, but I went back and forth and I tried. I'm like, okay, gooey coming down me. That's cool. But just feeling the light, we're all used to feeling that outside. Again, that's another part of the electromagnetic spectrum that we can't see, but we can feel. What do you know? Right? But infrared light, wonderful thing. So anyway, that golden light coming down you, also asking support from your higher power. And again, grounding can protect you. So all of those things are protecting after you've cleansed your field, after you're aware of your field. So 1, 2, 3, easy as that, guys. And you can have some basic energy cleansing, the hygiene routine for all of that so that you can start to feel cleaner, start to just not have ickiness.
Yes. And I can, like, I want to say, I can promise you that do these things continuously and consistently for 2 weeks to a month, your reality will start to shift. Like it will start to shift, especially if you get random ideas or random nudges and you begin listening to them. There is another component, the intuitive component, which we're going to talk about on a later call. But we want to first understand and trust and know that we live in a vibrational universe and everything is just vibrations bouncing off of each other. And so we resonate with the vibrations that are most in alignment with the one that we are embodying. And so when we take care of our energy field, our vibration naturally rises. The reality that you experience will change because it is a reflection of you. And you don't need to know how it changes. You just need to know that it will. You just need to keep showing up and playing your part and taking the aligned action and taking the inspired action and following through on the inspired ideas, reaching out for support if you need support, but allowing yourself to just keep paying attention to how you feel. Like how you feel is literally the most important thing. And if something feels off, trust it. If something is feeling frustrating, walk away from it for the time being. If something feels really good and playful, do that, follow that, trust that, because everything is vibrational. And the more you're in that energy, the better it is for you. And so just trust that. And then just know that your reality will start to change. It will start to change. It might be small things at first. Pay attention to how it does though over the next couple of weeks. If you do these consistently, it might be small things at first. Like it might be like, oh, I found like $1, I found a couple quarters, or I got my coffee paid for me or something like that. But then we can start playing with it. If you watched a few calls ago, I think it was probably 7 weeks ago, we talked about building believability in our manifestations. So then you can start playing with that again, start building that believability as your reality changes because your vibration is shifting. Okay. All right.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, babe.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being
Thank you,
lovely
everyone.
with us. And we will see you next week. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into the energetic side of success and the energetics of like the energetic hygiene around success. So if you are someone that keeps bumping a wall with success or with money or just with moving forward in general, and you're just like, okay, I feel like I've tried everything. You haven't.
Yeah. So there's lots of good hope. There's optimism, you know, have faith that there's other things that are out there, have trust, but then you're going to have to play your part in that. Yeah. Right. And so surround yourself with the people that can help you, that can do wonderful things. Again, guys, if you don't know, we have YouTube channel where you can see some of the replays of all of this. So that if you want to watch the same thing again, do some of these exercises again, because a lot of this happens with repetition and intensity of all of that. So get some of that, you know, and we nicely organize everything. So
yeah, that's what I wanted to say real quick, just real quick. So we also take on energy when there's an intense environment around us, like a courthouse is very intense energy, right? So pay attention to the rooms that you find yourself in, the situations you find yourself in. Like I went and I had to get blood work done for my midwife, but I had to go to like this urgent care space. I do not like urgent care space. I don't like the energy of hospitals. And it was just a very intense energy as soon as you walked in the door. So I made sure when I got out, I cleared that crap off of me. So be aware of like the spaces that you're going into. And is this a place where people feel very tense or people are very emotionally charged? Chances are you're going to want to clear your energy after that. Even if it's like a meeting space, right? So maybe it's like a work meeting and people are typically really nervous or something. Clear your energy after that.
Yeah, I think that's just always wonderful. Again, 1, 2, 3, be aware, clear your field and protect your field, because the sooner that you can be aware of it, the sooner you can clear it, the sooner you can just move on and you're not bringing that bad energy to the next thing, or you're not accumulating another layer of ickiness throughout your day. So when you get home, you're just covered in all of this, and then you feel drained or you feel down or you're feeling angry, you're feeling just you can't get things done, and you're going to affect the people that you love the most when you're at home and doing that. And so that you don't want this. So, you know, do this for yourself, do this for everyone around you. They're going to see that change in you as well. They're going to be like, wow, what are you doing? You're doing something different.
They'll sense it first. Just like you'll sense it first.
Yeah.
The subtle energy field. It's so fun.
It's fun, guys. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Love everyone. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Have an awesome time. Thanks. Bye.